What is a good mixologist to you? Define a great mixologist. What does that mean to you?
So first of all, a good mixologist is first of all a bartender. Okay, so we can call a mixologist, we can call bar manager, we can call whatever we want, but he has to be a good bartender. So he has to have basics about all the knowledge of all the classic cocktails. It's not just a normal service, I would say, it's an experience.
Hi guys, I'm here with Michele Lombardi. He's the head mixologist at the Ritz London, which is one of the finest bars you can find in the world. And today we're going to talk about the excellence in the bar industry, excellence in mixology, and how to elevate your game. I think it's going to be fun. Thanks, Michele, for having me here.
Thank you very much, Sid. My pleasure and lovely to meet you all. I'm Michele Lombardi, Head Mixologist at the Ritz, and I'm very glad to see what we're going to have today with Sid.
Super. So let's dive right into it. I really want to talk more about the mixology and the business of bartending. What is a good mixologist to you? Define a great mixologist. What does that mean to you?
So first of all, a good mixologist is first of all a bartender. Okay, so we can call a mixologist, we can call bar manager, we can call whatever we want, but he has to be a good bartender. So he has to have basics about all the knowledge of all the classic cocktails. Also, he has to be all the time updating himself for what is the trend of the new stuff going on in the market, let's say, and also has to have a good communication skills, of course. He has to be very good with the customers because the first people that we serve and we're greeting is the customers. So
Fantastic.
this is the modern, also the old way has to be a mixologist.
Got it. And when we talk about the Ritz service, right? I think we all know that you can expect certain standards here, and that has been created by all of you, right? What are those standards which you have to abide by? There must be a standard operating procedure.
Of course. So the Ritz Hotel, especially the River Bar, is working with the LQA standards, which is a company which belongs to different five-star hotels.
Got it.
So basically for this one, we have really like SOPs, which are standards of procedures, or how to greet the people once they step in the bar, asking certain questions to the customers, whoever works in the bar. And also you have some certain time to greet them, serve them, explain the menu. So, knowledge of the menu, knowledge of the food as well, also because we serve a lot of food.
Yep.
And as well going through to wine, champagne, or all the needs and allergens. So I'll say there is really complete way to approach people and stuff. But
Fantastic. And is there a training program which you have to go and pass a test to?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
How does that look like? How long is it? What does it include?
Well, so there is a 1 week training, of course, so whoever is a new starter. Okay. So in the first week you go through you do a walk around of how is your department, you do a walk around of the Ritz Hotel in this case, in London. And whatever you need to know, all the department and what's going on basically in the hotel. And then after you go through all the steps. So, you do like a shadow shift to whoever the manager is in line and basically do a training for you. How to greet the customers, how to bring them at the table, how to pull the chair. You ask if you need to take care of your codes also for the menu.
Got it.
Girls, of course, first, and knowledge of the menu. In how long you need to go and get the order, how long needs to be served drinks, how long need to be served food. And then you go this one through 1 week, basically. Going all the time.
So I saw I'm just trying to read the notes here. I saw on the website they define as 3 steps of service, right?
Yeah.
One is a warm and sincere greeting.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
let's go deeper into that. How do you do a warm greeting and how do you do a sincere greeting? What does that mean?
Well, for the warm greeting, it's literally you need to feel at home. Like every customer that works in the Ritz has to be comfortable because sometimes I met some customers which were saying, we were a bit intimidating to come at the Ritz because it's such important hotel, such important. And then they were like, Oh, but it's so nice because you are all friendly. So that's the main importance, the main important things to greet the customers a warm welcome. Because as long you feel welcome in a proper way, in a warm way, you go, hi, how are you? You okay? How was your day? Like literally get into the feelings of the customers.
Got it.
And then let them feel, oh, like literally anywhere you can have a seat. If you prefer the counter, if you prefer any place at the bar, make yourself comfortable as well. Also because it's a working policy of whoever is staying in the hotel. So we have all the timetable available for them. Also, to greet them and take for their codes and stuff, like for any needs as well, for anything. This is a warm welcome from us.
Fair enough. So once someone is stepping into the bar, right, you're greeting them, and then give us an example of the process which goes, and you're making them sit, and then what happens? How fast do you approach and give a menu? How fast do you ask for an
So
order?
basically, in about like 30 seconds, 1 minute, you need to give the menu to the customers.
Okay.
Obviously, ladies first. We have the doilies, which are in small napkins, which is good for the customers to have all the time on the right hand side. Then in about 3 minutes, you need to take the order for food and drinks, asking for allergies, of course, if there are any special requests as well, and have a product and knowledge for everything from the menu for food and drinks on, because also we have our signature cocktail list, but also we can do all the classic cocktails. Drinks has to be delivered for cocktails, has to be delivered in maximum 7 minutes.
Okay.
For
After the order?
After they order.
Got it.
So once you take the order, you have...
No matter how busy you are?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Any drinks, anything, the order has to be delivered in 7 minutes for cocktails.
Got it.
For spirit and mixers, it has to be 5 minutes.
So just to recap, as soon as they sit, in about 30 seconds, you said, place a menu.
Exactly.
And then ask for an order, and then 7 minutes deliver the order, right?
Yeah, but for the cocktails.
For the cocktails.
Then you go different timing for spirit and mixers, which
Got
is
it.
5 minutes.
Got it.
Or like juices or whatever. For tea and coffee is...
How do you measure that it's being delivered in 7 minutes? Is there a mechanism?
Checking the time. Also because when you post on the till, it show you in the time. So basically...
And then you have to update like delivered, something like that?
Yeah,
is there
exactly.
as well? Okay.
Yeah. And then after that as well for food is maximum 15 minutes.
Fair enough. What are good ways to ask an order? How do you do it at Ritz?
So basically, obviously asking if there is, first of all, any allergies. And regarding cocktails, of course, which is my concern, is if they have any...
You can say the exact thing. Let's say I'm the customer.
Okay.
How would you approach me?
I will say, how are you? You okay?
I'm great.
Do you have any... sorry. Do you have any preference about spirits? What you usually drink? And if you like sweet, if you like sour, or what's your favorite cocktail?
I like gin-based cocktails.
And then fantastic. Do you like more sweet side, more on
sour,
sour.
Maybe a little egg white.
Do you like more on straight up? You like on ice and a long drink, or also on a short? And do you like more?
I'm not that technically sound, but maybe a little velvety, like egg white.
Okay,
kind of thick texture.
So in that moment, I can recommend a Clover Club for you.
Okay.
So it's a fruity drink with a gin base. You go sour, you go egg white, you go creamy texture, you go the froth on the top. So it might be perfect for you.
All right.
Any allergies for the egg white?
Nope.
Fantastic. I'll do for you, man. No
Super. And then that's it basically. You just go in and
exactly.
You don't continue the dialogue as soon as I guess.
No, then after maybe when I come back and serve the cocktail, then I can go through the history. So and also you can say.
So when you're giving the cocktail, what are the words you say? Here's the drink. Enjoy.
No. Obviously, you go and you say like in the moment, Madam, this is your Clover Club. And it's a drink invented in Philadelphia.
Okay, you talk about the drink a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So you create like different experience with the customers also because like walking into the Ritz, which has so much history.
Yeah.
You go history also to the drink if you deliver like classic drinks or also the signature, also because they have some signature, which they've been here for many years and they have a history behind. One of those is the Ritz 110, which is one of the most selling cocktail here. It was the celebration of the 110 years of the Ritz.
Yeah.
And is a kind of a champagne cocktail, but with the gold leaves and vodka based, with the creme de pêche and Grand Marnier, top it up with the champagne. And we create the experience putting the cube at the table. Mm-hmm. So basically when you serve the cocktail, you go with a little box with the sugar cube and you pour for the light and you got all the spark coming up at the table.
Nice.
So,
I think, we'll come back to the art of mixology. I want to know more on once you serve the cocktail, and then after that, when do you go and ask how is it everything? Is it you wait for certain measurement or a time?
We go 2 minutes for the quality check, basically. We
Okay.
call quality
Even if it's
check.
one sip, after 2 minutes you go.
Yeah, exactly. So we come back to the customers. We check if the cocktail is good,
Fair
because
enough.
you're still in time to see if the customer would like to change, because maybe change mind. Maybe was expecting different flavor, different taste. So it's exactly 2 minutes.
Got it.
Even if he did couple of sips, but we wait pretty much 2 minutes also for food, but especially for cocktails. So
Okay.
it's the 2 minutes quality check.
All right. And then when do you go for the second order, or how do you evaluate that the customer is almost done? Let me go.
So when we see that the cocktail is almost done, so let's say at 3/4,
Okay.
we come back to the customers and we ask if they want something else.
What is a good ask? Please give me examples of how would you ask.
I'll say like, so how's everything going? You like your drinks? Yes, of course. Like, would you go for another round? Would you go for try another cocktails? I can give back a menu so they can have a look at the menu.
Got it.
So in that moment, they say, oh yeah, let me have a look. Or what do you recommend? And then the moment we go through again with different flavor stuff, if they want to change spirit, if they want to change flavor, if they want something different.
Got it.
And then we go through with all the.
Based on
the
your
knowledge.
experience, why do you think people don't order the second glass? Let's say, is it because of the price, or is it because of the time they are rushing somewhere, or because they just you know that they did not enjoy the first cocktail? What's your experience of they just having one and they're just saying, get me the check and I'm out?
I'll say that most of the time they're rushing, even
Okay.
because sometimes they come in just for a drink or before like reservation anywhere else,
Okay.
or maybe at the Ritz restaurant also there is afternoon tea.
Got it.
So sometimes they come earlier, and sometimes they regret because they say, oh, if I had more time, I was going for the second.
Got it.
And then all the time we offer to come back. And all the
Understood.
time we see people coming back, like from any reservation and stuff. It was let's say I'm gonna give you an example. It was one couple, which he had the reservation. They had the reservation somewhere else, but they had just one drink, even because the reservation was due like literally in 20 minutes. So they were like, oh, we go, but we're coming back, and they came back actually, and they were
Nice.
super happy to come back, even because they had a good experience. So obviously, because we have just the working policy, so there is no booking, just for residents or whoever
Got it.
is literally very regular in the hotel.
Got it.
We're not allowed to do any booking, but that's why the people all the time they coming, they like the experience, because it's not just a normal service, I would say, it's an experience.
Great.
And that's what we want to deliver to the customers.
Nice. Back on the mixology side of things, right? Would you go about designing a cocktail menu? What would be the questions you would first ask before even, starting from clean slate? Let's say a bar owner gives you a bar and then tells you that, hey, okay, please help me design this cocktail menu of this bar.
Well, fantastic. First of all, I see how is the environment.
Okay. Environment meaning the location, or
The location,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Also because you need to adapt whatever is the location
Okay.
wants, basically, from our cocktail menu. Also because, like, I'll give you an example. So you go in the Ritz in a classic place.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go for tiki cocktails. It's something like rum base and stuff here, because it doesn't match whatever is inside here. So I'm taking inspiration for the concept of whatever like is the F&B direct on line,
Okay.
or also whatever is the environment and the customers like to drink. So it's for me very crucial to see what the people like at the bar drinking.
So if we have to design the customer, is it the age, the money side, let's say how wealthy they are,
Exactly. So
the spending power,
The spending
the
power
age,
as well.
the demographic, maybe male, female sort of thing.
Yeah,
What else
exactly.
are there? What other factors are there? I guess maybe the location would be one thing. Maybe are we in Hawaii, or are we in the downtown, or are we in Mayfair, or are we in the financial district?
It depends also of the people.
Type of the people,
type of
the
people.
work profession maybe.
Yeah, exactly. The work professional
Okay.
and what they like to drink. Also because the Ritz is a kind of environment which is a lot of champagne. I would say it's a champagne bar, so whatever it has.
So
champagne
let's
bar.
go there. We'll just give good examples here. So for a work location, for 200,000, let's say 200,000 sort of financial person, work location, 35 to 45. What kind of cocktails do you think they normally drink?
So I'm gonna give you a little example,
Okay.
because we were developing whatever can be the concept of the next cocktail menu.
Got it.
And one of the idea was like to have basically a concept of a jewelry shop.
Of a jewelry shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
basically, present a cocktail like you presenting a jewel in a shop. So basically, when the customers walk in, instead to basically request a cocktail, is requesting a jewel. So something very very precious, like something that you need to take care of it.
Interesting.
So you're not gonna have a normal cocktail, but you're gonna have like literally something that you can keep with you, remind, and obviously it can have like some food pairing as well, and something which it might be all the time impressing your mind.
Interesting. What other, let's say, elements would go in a cocktail menu? Like, how would you design it? Price-wise or category-wise or gin-based, whiskey-based? How would you normally design it?
So basically, obviously, we divide the menu for the spirits.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not gonna have much on gin, let's say, or much on vodka. We try to make sure that all the spirits are covered in the menu.
Okay.
So obviously, for the trend and here in England is most gin, because people they like gin.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to have at least like 2-3 cocktails with gin, so to have different flavor for different cocktail gin cocktail, let's say.
Got it.
But then obviously you go different customers which they like to go with vodka. So I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
You need to cover all the spirits.
Yeah, yeah.
Also you can go with something like which is not very common, maybe with pisco and also with cachaça or any other different.
Yeah.
Which you have like some people which they might go for that one.
Okay.
So it's very surprising for them as well to find cocktail with this kind of spirit.
Fair enough.
Then after for the flavor wise,
Yeah.
I'll say that we look after seasonality.
Okay.
So obviously for the fruits that you have developed in the menu, we choose the fruits.
So now you would be planning your summer and spring
Yeah,
menu?
exactly.
Okay.
So now we literally head in spring and summer. So obviously we're working with products which they are seasonality in this season. Obviously. So working on more tropical and
Yeah.
flavor taste, very fresh, very colorful as well. Even because from my side as well, we develop even with colors.
Yeah.
And colors
Okay.
for me as well is very important, even
Nice.
because I'll give you a little example. There are some drinks which they are working around with the waiter, and our customers maybe seeing the waiter passing with those drinks, and
True.
the color is very appealing, very catchy. They say, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah.
And then you go through and you explain that the cocktail is this made with some different flavor and
What
stuff.
colors do you think pop, does the trick?
The trick that the more colorful, the better. Hard
Like
for
bright
the
and-
yeah. From my experience here, the Ritz, so the blue colors
I
is
was
very
gonna say
catching
that,
for
yeah,
them,
yeah.
and also purplish. Let's
Okay.
say. So yeah, also the red, also because Natch very good here. The decor.
Something just looks different, right?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
one.
Because basically is different color as well, because he's a very classic
Yeah, yeah.
place, and when they see something like with different color, get that tension. I'll say.
Let's wear a buyer's hat, because I think it's a dream for a lot of medium to small boutique brands to get a placement in a place like Ritz, right?
Yeah.
How does the buying work for Ritz? Is it a national program, tender work, or they can just do a normal route, knock the door and come?
So in this moment, there is some development in the company. So for sure is the F&B director with the F&B manager, which they
Okay.
go through. And obviously, for the moment, there is a process which the Ritz was just the best of the best.
Okay.
So basically, they go through to the brands that the Ritz would like to get.
So right now, it's basically Ritz approaching the brands.
Yeah,
There is just
exactly.
not the other way around.
There is the other way around,
Okay.
but still it depends what they offer and so on. So,
Got it. But is it location based or is it national buying?
it's a national buy.
So all Ritz, some head office takes care of that.
Exactly.
And then
Obviously, it goes
so
through.
the decision is not made like you cannot decide if you just want to.
I mean, yeah, it goes through us, obviously.
But you
because,
can recommend that I
yeah,
want
of
this
course.
to be.
Of course. I
But-
mean, start from us.
Got it.
But then obviously they do the contract for the rates and stuff. But obviously because I just joined the.
What
place.
sort of things are you normally looking for when, let's say I'm a supplier, I'm meeting the buyer, national buyer there, and the F&B manager. What kind of things business-wise you expect? Like, okay, support programs, tastings, merchandising.
Yeah.
Highest margins than any other hotels, or maybe you tell me that okay, as long as it's not selling in Hilton, I'll take it. What are those kind of things?
Yeah, for sure, that one you just mentioned.
Okay.
And basically, for sure, the philosophy of the supplier on whatever they sell. So obviously, it's very crucial to have something which any other hotel doesn't have.
Got it.
But it's not even about this one. It's not even about like the merchandising and stuff. It's the philosophy of the company, of the supplier that you want to take.
Okay.
We working very good with Dalmor and Macallan, which have a story behind, and also is very high-end whiskey and people they really love here in the place. So this is our two example of brand they were using here.
How does a private label brands, for example,
For the private label and
try to tell the story? You know, it's just a private label end of the day.
yeah, no, of course. And that one is different because they need to come through. So they literally
Do they get placements? Do you guys
yeah,
still
yeah,
get-
yeah.
Okay.
Of course, that for sure. But they need obviously to get through and see if there is any training program, if they can support the Ritz.
What if we prove that this gin is one of the fastest growing? My brand is #1 in New York. You know, do you prefer data as well to back up when you know, if I can present that, you know, I'm fast growing in Singapore, New York, now we want London, would love to have 5, placement here.
That's for sure. It's something that
Okay.
that we go for. We go through this because we're looking as well for any brands which they are developing in the market, and obviously has a good feedback around the world. So
Any tips for suppliers trying to pitch on how to approach? Like, what is a good way to, present, pitch, what to include in a pitch? I think that would be
I'll
good for
say
them.
and super good presentation. Like he has to be spot on. Like literally has to be through with all the details on how the product is made,
Okay.
from where it's starting and where he wants to reach, which goal wants to reach. Because if there is no all of these details, obviously it's not even catching appealing for head office or for us as well. So as long as we know there is a programmation behind the brand, so we can go through that one.
That's exactly where I wanted to go. Programmation, meaning the programming, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And what is that? Like if there is a Christmas, we give you £5 a bottle extra kickback, those kind of things?
No, even that one is to have the quality and the story behind the brand.
Okay.
So it's not even because I believe the Ritz brand is a brand which doesn't want to have bottle instead and stuff, but it wants like consistency and quality at all time.
Got it.
So it's more about to support and have quality at all time, to be all the time present for whatever the Ritz might be need.
Fair
also
enough.
because we know that the brand here are working really good and they're literally for everything that we need.
How do you measure a good performing brand and a not good performing brand? I want to go on the not good. How do you know that these brands are done, and what do you do with them to blow them out?
Well, in the beginning, obviously, we start from the tasting.
Okay.
So we test the product, we see if it's working good. Obviously, we go through as well with the customers. So sometimes they can have some taste as well.
Got it.
So also because they is
So
very
you pour
important.
neat tastings?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes even because people they feel at home.
Got it.
So sometimes if we have some, let's say, free stock bottles from some suppliers
Yep.
which they want to be included in the Ritz Hotel, sometimes we go also through like, what do you think about this product? And then they go and then we receive the feedback.
Got it.
Also, we go through with all the suppliers if there is any history, if there is anything that you might be catching for us, and then we go further.
Do you have suppliers also come in and do their tastings or events?
Yeah, most of the time.
Does that work, like that kind of support?
Yeah, of course. Even because sometimes if they ask us, even we go for a tasting, even we don't know the brand and stuff.
Super.
We do, of course. Also because he's a knowledge for all
They are
the
more-
bartenders, all the waiters, whoever is
It
working
helps,
there.
right, when they train, I
Exactly.
guess.
So even because the knowledge is the power. So as long as you know what is made, the spirit or whatever is made, the liquor,
Got it.
so you can go further as well. It's super for everybody.
How just maybe 5-10 more minutes. How does your training look like? Your morning every day. I'm sure you must be doing a little group huddle and a pep talk or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
so-
walk me over like what kind of, how does it look?
So basically, regarding like preps, which most of the time I try to involve bartenders and barbacks, I go through basically with me
Okay.
and showing them I have basically the process of the prep and the prep already made.
Okay.
So basically, I go through for how to make the prep. So they follow me, and then obviously I ask them to help me out, and then at the end I let them taste the final product.
Okay.
So for whatever we do, any homemade, let's say, any homemade is for any different cocktail. So basically, we build homemade for the cocktail. Obviously, it's a development that we do together with all the bartenders, because sometimes we do a brainstorming all together in a little briefing, let's say, when we develop a new cocktail menu. And we ask like, which kind of flavor would you like to include in the new cocktail menu? And
You
then we
ask
go-
the bartenders.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we go through with all the flavors and stuff, and then we pick the best one, which they might be super. for
But
the
this is
cocktail.
once in a 6 month or something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
When you launch a new cocktail.
Exactly. every 6 months because it's spring, summer, and then.
But every day, do you have like a quick briefing before the shift?
Yeah, of course. Even because.
What do you say in that briefing? Like,
obviously, we go through whatever it is the day. If he's gonna be busy, he's not gonna be busy, and then we carry on which preps we need to be done, which service we need to deliver, and also we have a weekly briefing, which basically we include every week different cocktail classic with history. So sometimes we can recommend any classic cocktails. Obviously, for the food, we go through with the plat du jour, like the dish of the day, and so on. We remind at all time the steps of the LQA standards. So this one for sure is every day that we go through on that one.
Okay.
For the training itself, all the time, for the preps, for the barbecs, and then when we go through to the cocktail menu, it's like all together. Basically, we do a tasting. And I show them if we have any pre-batch cocktail, the measure of the pouring, the glasses that we need to use, the heights that we use, and obviously how to present the cocktail, how to talk about the cocktail.
So how do you learn about the art, the magic part, right? Other things you can learn in the book, but how even you are just expressing yourself, and I'm sure talking to the customers. Is there a place where people can learn, or how do you become that magician in the mixology part?
I'll say that most of this part I took from my father, because he's a pastry chef.
Okay.
So back in my town when I was a young boy, let's say, I was all the time with him, and he was very inventive for about pastries and cakes and so on. And obviously, it was also very precise because pastry, as we know, is very difficult.
Yeah.
If you basically do a mistake, you need to basically throw out everything and then start again. So for this, for sure, for the creating process, I took this one from my father. But then for that one, I went through on the inspiration that I have myself. So basically, have a look on the environment, I have a look of the place, I have a look and take inspiration or whatever it might fit the place and the customers. So it's this one which I can transmit to whoever is working with me. But it's also say there is something that you need to feel yourself, because there are some bartenders which I've been talking to, and they were like, "Oh, I like to bartend, I like to make drinks, but I don't have the creativity side."
Correct.
I believe that for the creativity side and develop yourself, it's very important to read books, but not regarding the bartending, but books in general or whatever you would like to. Anything, any hobby.
Did you learn this kind of skills, like the mixing, the presenting, and all that? Did you learn?
Yeah, I did learn. Obviously, I had some masters in the past, which they show me, and it was very pleasant for me to watch them. And also, my father used to say, "The job you need to steal with your eyes."
Got it.
So I was watching it.
The job you need to steal with your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So I was all the time watching whatever was better than me.
Yeah.
And also how to serve drinks, how to present the cocktails, and so on. So that one I learned just watching. And then I went through, and also I personalized my way of service. And I feel that is the hospitality I have myself is very in me, even because I grew in a hospitality family. Even because we had a business. It's still running actually in Italy. And the hospitality side, I learned that one when I was just young, and then I felt literally it was my way.
Michele, thank you very much. Just some closing remarks on the mixologist, on how they can improve, how they can self-learn. Any tips you would tell them that they can do to increase their art, their level of service, that they just become a better class bartender and mixologist?
For sure, starting from the basic is the best thing, because sometimes I met some bartenders which they knew already how to mix in drinks, but they didn't have the basics. So they knew how to make a Negroni, they knew how to make a Cosmopolitan, whatever. But if I was asking how is the process of the fermentation, they didn't know. So for sure, you need to start from the bottom, starting through the fermentation and how it's literally made a spirit. That is the most important to develop yourself, so you can understand all the steps for spirits, for any liquors or whatever we use, because we are mixing drinks, but there are people which they don't know what they're mixing. So I learned literally all of these steps for the fermentation, whatever it is, the liquid and so on. And then you're going through all the flavors, even because my Bible are the classic cocktails. So all the classic cocktails, they've been classics, or they've been awarded as a classic cocktails because they were working.
Got it.
So a classic cocktail is something that you're never gonna go wrong,
Yeah.
as long as you made it in a proper way, of
Yeah.
course. And that's why we have recipes from the 18
Yeah.
and 19, which they've been all the time in there. And there are some old books which they've been literally write how to make those cocktails. So having the basics is very important. And then you go through, and when you want to develop something, starting with the cocktail competition, let's say,
Yeah.
you started to prove yourself.
God, you try to enter into those
Exactly.
your cocktails.
Also because the competition literally challenge yourself with different mind of the hospitality world and bartending world, let's say. And I did many in the past, to be honest.
Nice.
And like challenging yourself with other people.
Yeah.
First of all, you create connection.
Yeah.
Second of all, you try new flavors.
Yeah.
And third of all, you go through all of these flavors, and then you come back, you say, oh, but you know that cocktail was good. How did he balance out those drinks and stuff?
Got it.
So for sure, developing and tasting the cocktail is very important. So also when you want to develop a different cocktail, you need to brainstorm on which flavor you want to do. And then from that one, you start on which spirit might match the flavor.
Yep.
And then if you want to go more further, you go and you match the flavor with the main spirits and whatever you want to create.
Any books that come to mind that they can read? Any YouTube channels?
So I'll say books. I'll say Liquid Intelligence from Dave Arnold.
Okay.
And then also it was Dario Comini with a Reloaded Mixology, which is the new version, but it was like a whole version, which is Italian bartender. He has Nottingham Forest in Milan.
Okay.
Also, I'll say that one of my master is Tommy Colonna, which is one of the most famous bartender in Italy. Okay. It's part of the world class, so it's very famous, and he's literally a master.
How do you pronounce the name slowly, please?
Tommy Colonna.
Colonna. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's one of the best, which he's well known in Italy as well as one of the best mixologists, and he's also from my hometown. So I had the pleasure and the luck to have in my hometown, and to develop myself over also talking to him and see him how he was working and so on.
Super. And can they reach you out anywhere if they have any if you want to mentor anyone, how can people reach you out?
Well, through Instagram for sure.
Great.
Also because I'm very active on Instagram. I try all the time to update the profile with something.
You also post your cocktails there?
Yeah, I do. Also because I'm trying to work with professional photographers, which they literally catch the essence of the drink that I would like to give to whoever wants to come and see me or want to see. And in this moment, I'm in the Ritz. So, all the time they want to see and which flavor I develop and so on. So, and in this moment, actually, we work on the new cocktail menu. So
super. So can't get better, From Ritz, Michele here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.